things we did there in the aircraft, we did nothing. We had nothing to shoot at. No enemy aircraft were flying. In monsoon, they don't fly in monsoon. We do. We had to send aircraft out in the worst weather, like today, for example. Had to send aircraft out in that stuff and find a target on the ground, whatever it was, shoot at it, probably nobody in it, just a truck or a boat, and find your way home in an aircraft with rather shaky maintenance. We had serious problems with sabotage. We had rust in the petrol. We don't know how it got there. One of our boys, a New Zealand flight sergeant by the name of Kenny Light, he was coming back from a mission like that, and his engine was kicking out. So we had what they call a Kai gas primer to prime the engine before you start it. So he kept pumping that thing, managed to bring the aircraft home by pumping the gas, and by the time he got home, his hand was raw. And he'd pumped his way home, and he was recommended for an Air Force medal for that job, doing that. Having the presence of mind to go to the Kai gas primer to keep the engine going, and to manage to get it home. And a friend of mine, RCAF, Gibson, he was killed doing the same thing. He was trying to get home with a shitty carburetor full of this crap, and didn't make it. In the supply line, this stuff came up in barrels, and somewhere along the line, somebody was dropping something in those barrels. That's what we think. They were just gumming up the engines. And we reported this. They claimed they didn't find anything. But it was still happening. And Gibby almost got home. He was pumping away with his Kai gas primer. He was about a mile from the airfield. And he was forced down. He had to crash. Did the right thing, kept his wheels up, didn't put them down. He apparently saw a green, open stretch ahead of him. Rather than hit the trees just here, he tried to stretch his glide. And he spun in a foot like that, and he broke his neck.
Mm.
So that was the end of Gibby. He's a boy from Caledonia, Ontario, and we buried him there with the usual honors. And it was such a waste because, as I said, we had nothing to shoot at. We had to go out in the most foul weather. The Japanese were clever. They pulled out their airplanes from Burma. They took them to Siam and Malaya those days, and they didn't do any flying in this shitty weather. When the conditions improved, they'd come back in. By that time, they'd pull us out. We're a monsoon squadron, you see, because these were clapped out old hurricanes, and we weren't really up to very much.
The Expendables.
Hey?
The Expendables.
Well, yeah, but what we were doing, we were the flag wavers. They used to like to put out in the newspapers every day, British aircraft were out over Burma, conducted fighter sweeps over Burma. Fighter sweeps. Conducted fighter sweeps over Burma yesterday. All of our aircraft returned safely, or something like that.